What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy XIV and why I think if you were a WoW player looking for a home, you should play it. I know you got Asmund, Belior, all your big names out there talking about Final Fantasy XIV right now, and you might be like, whoa, I don't know about that. I mean, I know times are hard, but I'm not a weeb. And before you're like, oh, it's another weeb talking about his favorite game. No, that's not it at all. I've been an avid WoW player for many years. Probably was better than you. Sorry to be cocky, but it's true. Played WoW for a long time. Still do. Rating in TBC with my old guild Infallible. We've done a lot of cool things, had a lot of accomplishments on the world. We did stuff like this, which gave us cool titles like Demise, things like that. And now we're just a bunch of old dads hanging out on the weekend, killing bosses we already killed, reliving our glory days. With that said, let's get into this. I wrote some talking points of things I think you need to know about good, bad, weird, all that kind of stuff in order to get into Final Fantasy, because, the first 30 levels kind of suck. The first base game kind of sucks, to be totally honest with you. But overall, it's incredibly good. It's incredibly complex, and I think you're going to love it if you give it a chance. Or you're going to think we're all weirdos forever. I don't know. But you got to come up with an open mind. Let's do it. I'm trying to do this in the least amount of takes possible because honestly, I want a game. Who doesn't want a game? And I got to stream. I got things to do. You know what I'm saying? So right off the bat here, we're going to talk about one real quick that a lot of people bring up in every Final Fantasy video I talk about, or they talk about, or whatever. You know what I mean? And that is leveling. Leveling in this game is kind of boring. It's better than WoW. It's 100,000 times better than WoW. And what I'm specifically meaning with leveling is 1 to 30. The game is kind of boring. It doesn't really start off at 30. You get better jobs, classes, things like that, and then from really 1 to 50 is the first expansion, and it's kind of a grind, but if you're a Warcraft player, that shouldn't be too big of an issue if you play Classic at all. But just a heads up, that's the issue. This leads right into my secondary point with this, and that would be MSQ is what you'll see, Main Story Quest. The reason Main Story Quest is such a big deal is that is how you level in this game. Inside the game, you'll see 3 different quest exclamation points. The Main Story Quest one, then you'll see ones that have a little plus sign in the corner attached to them. Those are also potentially important, and then regular quests that you would see in WoW or what you'd expect to see anywhere else. The big difference here is if you're going to level, we do the main story quest. Everything else can be viewed as optional, with the plus sign ones being pretty important. They can unlock different things, such as classes or whatever else you want to do. Again, classes is called jobs here, but I'll try to put the lingo in so you know what we're talking about. But the point is yes, those are both pretty important things. Just focus on the main story quest for leveling. Everything else could essentially be treated like a side quest overall. What else we got here? Oh yes. So we'll talk about something I don't like. Let's just get those out of the way real quick, right? The 2 big ones I don't like in this game. First off, I'm just gonna say it. Lolafills are weird. They're just weird, dude. And I get it. People are like, oh, you had a gnome. In fact, I play a gnome. It looks like a little kid running. I know it's not supposed to, but it's just weird. I don't know. I'm not down with the Lolafills. Some people you'll get used to them. It hasn't happened to me yet. You may get used to them. I don't know, but I'm just gonna say it. They're weird. There's a lot of things in this game that are kind of like girl ear. What are they called? The cat girls and stuff like that. At first, whoa, I don't know about all that stuff. No big deal. Honestly, you get used to it. Lolafills, they stay weird. They just stay weird. Second thing I don't really care for in this game, and I think everyone in all of Final Fantasy would agree with this statement, is going to be the PvP isn't that good. Supposedly, I haven't looked into it, I just heard it, that they are going to, do some changes, some new PvP is supposed to come out, which would be cool, but if you're used to playing Arena, Warsong Gulch, stuff like that, you're not going to like the PvP here. It's just not as good, and that's just a fact. That's okay. Hopefully it gets better, but just so you're fully aware, it's not going to be as good of an experience. I loved Arena. I wasn't amazing at Arena. I got 2,300, but I loved it. I love it. It is what it is. Sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. Overall, sorry to jump back, ADD runs out of life. The leveling experience, it's better than WoW. It is. There's a whole story. I know a lot of WoW players. You're programmed, myself included. You're going to be programmed to be like, I got to level, push, top, in-game, push. If you can bring yourself to do it and you enjoy single-player RPG games, take a step back and enjoy the game for what it is. I didn't do that the first time I leveled, and honestly, I kind of regret it. I was streaming, I was doing everything. I was like, I got to get to the hard stuff. That's more entertaining content, blah, blah. I couldn't turn that off. Now, as someone who's more in depth in the game, pushing further into the game, I'm like, hey, you know what? I should have turned that off. So if you like main story quests, RPGs, stuff like that, take a step back, enjoy the experience on the way there. And if you're in a hurry, well, I did it, I'm fine. Just wouldn't recommend anyone else doing it, you know what I'm saying? Not everyone in this game's a weeb. I have it next to the WoW fill thing that I don't like. Jobs, classes, alts, stuff like that. Okay, great thing about this game is it's a very alt-friendly game. You know, in WoW, it's like, oh, I play a rogue. That's what I play. That's what I rate on. Maybe I off rate on something else, blah, blah, blah. Well, in this game, it's a little bit different. You have one character, so me, let's say I'm the character. If I pick up a sword, I'm a paladin today. If I pick up a two-handed sword, now I'm a warrior. If I pick up a bow, now I'm an archer / bard. You'll learn all the terminology later on. The point is whatever weapon you pick up, you'll start off at level 1. So one character can be every single class, essentially. You just have to take the time to level them all, and leveling after the first time is incredibly easy. It's like I'm currently leveling a white mage right now. I have a bard leveled up, a paladin somewhere along the way, currently on a white mage. It's a lot of fun. It's very alt-friendly. It makes, you know, queue times for dungeons a lot easier. They have some very good systems in place that are completely different than anything you're used to in World of Warcraft, and I think you're going to love those features. I have, and I've never been the guy to like alts in WoW. So, just something to take into account, something to think about. Two really big ones I get asked about a lot. Well, one I get asked about a lot. The other one I just found very peculiar. It's not horrible, but it's like, okay, that's kind of weird. And they go hand in hand. That is going to be rating for the first one. Every time I get in a WoW or I play with any of my WoW friends that have never played Final Fantasy, they always ask me, like, how's the rating? It's good. Straight up, it's good. I shouldn't have hesitated. It is good. It's different. It's a lot different. So the first thing I would respond with, like, there's no trash. Like, people are like, what? Like, you literally get teleported into an instance, and there will be a giant, huge boss right there, super badass looking dude, and that's who you're gonna fight. And that fight could go from 5 minutes to 18 minutes. Like, some of these fights are incredibly in-depth and long. It's just a different experience. There's no trash. There is different difficulties, like, you know, WoW's got like normal, heroic, mythic, stuff like that now. Same thing here, you know, you got ultimate, savage. They have different names, same thing. They get harder and harder to increase the difficulty, but the fighting experience is just a different time. I have a hard time saying it's easier or it's harder because it's just a totally different experience. Like, I've never been in WoW for 20 minutes in a fight. So it's just something different. There are weird parts of it that people won't expect. Like, let's say you're a priest in WoW. Like, a holy priest is essentially a white mage in Final Fantasy. Big difference here. You are expected to heal and still do damage in order to get through that ultimate or that mythic, right? You're expected to do a certain amount of damage as well while keeping people alive. So that's a little bit different from WoW, where it's like, oh, you mainly heal. So just something to think about there. And then the last one I got on here, sorry, I want to kind of make this quick. Like I said, I want to play, and I just want to push out some contents for you guys. This game is phenomenal. I can't say that enough. It's a weird one. It's called ACT. It is their damage meters, which, come on, boys. I played a rogue. And nothing else matters but the damage meters, right? No. So they have something called ACT. This is where it's weird. Final Fantasy doesn't allow add-ons. And that's not a bad thing. It's very, like, the UI and all that stuff that you care about, you can do that all in game. You can make it totally customizable. It's really cool that's integrated. But past that, ACT would be your details or your recount or, you know, your logs of what is happening inside the raid. Something that is very much needed at high-end rating, and Square Enix is fully aware that people are using it, and they're like, okay, well, you know, we'll allow you to use this because we understand the importance of it, but you will not use it to belittle or be toxic about someone. So if you want to use it for your raid, that's totally cool. You see where you're at, see what's going on, keep it private, blah, 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 no big deal there. Even if it's public, no big deal as long as you're nice about it. If you start using it, like, let's say I'm raiding and I did shitty and my raid leader, like, pulls on my logs and he's like, yo, what did you do, bro? You missed this, you missed that, you're messing up here and here and here, and starts tearing me apart publicly, that is where Square Enix has a problem with it. They're not trying to encourage that, you know, a community. They don't want that kind of, they don't want to foster that environment where people think that's okay. So they put a lot of effort into making sure people understand that cannot fly here. So just something to think about, not a big deal. It just took a little bit of getting used to, and that it's a third-party program kind of throws me off, but what are you gonna do, you know? Is that it? Let me double check. By the way, this is the kind of talking notes I take. They're real in depth. All right, that is it though. That is all quick, easy, no big deal. There's a lot of other things. I just wanted to make a quick video, like I said, about this. The other stuff is here nor there. I got a lot to learn about the game before I can really comment on that kind of stuff. But I will say, avid WoW player, 14 years, rated top, you know, like did all that cool stuff back in the day. Do I recommend Final Fantasy to any World of Warcraft player right now? Yes. Why? The biggest why? They value your time. There's no, hey, I gotta log on and do Torghast. Oh, hey, I gotta redo Torghast because 9.1's coming out and my life sucks. That stuff doesn't exist. There's nothing like that going on here. There's no, let's go do these stupid world quests for the sake of collecting Amina power or whatever else BS, you know, Blizzard is putting in their game to track numbers for engagement and stuff like that. That doesn't exist here. They respect your time. They're very, very, very close to their community. They talk to their community, their content creators, stuff like that. Not me, I'm chop liver, right? But like they're bigger ones, their version of Asmon and stuff like that. They're guys that, you know, have a big influence. They talk to them, they meet with them, they listen to them, which is a big deal. They have, you know, like FanFest, which is like BlizzCon, but I don't know. Everyone says it's similar, but it's different because, you know, the community. I don't know, man. I got a lot to learn. Overall, it's a good time. One thing I just thought about, and this is kind of a weird one, but it's important. Whatever you do, okay, whatever you do, never criticize the in-game music. So they have their own band, Square Enix does, and they make their own music, and people love it. And some of it is pretty good, like the Shadowbringers song, I don't know, in the trailer or whatever. Pretty good song, not gonna lie. But I don't care that much about in-game music, and some people do. I just say, don't criticize it. You're gonna regret it. They will come at you crazy. Anyways, that's it for this, boys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, I don't know, whatever you're supposed to say. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. I always slap my camera at the end, but I can't do that when I'm on a green screen. So instead, peace.